I have an older brother, David, 41. David has boundary issues and was in the learning disabled classes. My parents never let him out of the home. He has a very rough personality, and because he was never allowed to work or do anything in his 40s, he doesn't have friends. He still dominates the conversation at every holiday with fun facts. He goes off on those and doesn't realize no one's listening. My other siblings and I don't like David because my parents let him do whatever and dominate whatever social settings we're in. My older sister eloped because David was there, and my mom kept trying to find David a place at her wedding. I'm marrying Mel, and my youngest brother Nick is my best man. My sister, who's close to Mel, is in the bridal party. Her husband is one of my best men, and their son is a ring bearer. My wife wants a real wedding and not be forced to elope like my sister did. David has no place. He's not going to be invited because the first thing he did was insult the ring I got Mel with his fun facts about how diamonds are worthless and do not resell well. I should have bought her a second-hand engagement ring or a coloured stone engagement ring. We then got a history of engagement rings and marriage traditions. We tried shutting him up, but he wouldn't, and my mom said, "Let the professor talk." Even at 40, she thinks my brother's fun facts are cute. This put a hard no on Mel's stance that my brother can't come to the wedding. If my parents defend him even once, they are not coming. She's not having her wedding ruined like my sister's, and it's time for David to be put in his place. Mom called and asked about wedding planning, and I told her she wasn't involved after what happened to my sister's wedding dress shopping. Mom brought David, who told everyone his fun facts about wedding dress history. My mom got mad at my sister, saying David said he wanted to come, and that was supposed to make it okay. That's when my sister decided to elope. I told Mum if she and Dad wanted to come to the wedding as guests, they could, but David wasn't invited. Mom didn't talk for a while. I think she started crying because my dad took over the phone call. I told him what upset Mom, and he said David wasn't invited and that Mom couldn't be trusted to be involved in wedding planning without David tagging along. Dad said he didn't understand why we all hated David, and I told him what was wrong with his fun facts. My dad said, "The boy likes to talk and there's no harm in it." I told my dad that's the thing. There is harm in David's fun facts, and now no one wants to be around him. Dad started arguing, saying stuff in defense of David, and I told Dad we're at a stalemate and I guess all three of you won't be coming to the wedding. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. I ended the conversation with my dad, and my mom has been upset texting like a crazy person to everybody about how we all need to understand David. What I'm doing is mean. Mel feels this whole thing is why I can't invite David or my parents. I agree they can't even be trusted to come to my wedding without sneaking David in. Am I the idiot for excluding my brother from my wedding because of his fun facts? Mom took David to the wedding dress shopping. I would have walked out the moment I saw him. This is so messed up. I'm curious about what fun facts he managed to come up with about the history of wedding dresses that upset people. Now, admittedly, I am not a fount of all knowledge, but I certainly don't have enough knowledge about the history of wedding dresses to give me more than 5 minutes of material. None of it would upset anybody, so I have no idea how he could even manage that. Your brother is probably autistic and your parents sound like they pretend that he isn't. It's really sad. If I were you, I'd start collecting brochures, looking up group homes, and sending them to your parents so they know not to expect you and your sister to take care of him when they're gone. Make it crystal clear to them that David will not be living with you and your family. Not the idiot. I do feel bad for your brother, though. Your brother is showing every sign of being smack in the middle of the autism spectrum, and your parents responded by clutching to anything they could to preserve their sense of normalcy. He's just a talker. Let the professor talk. He doesn't mean any harm, and he'll be hurt if he's the only one left out. Don't respond to fire with fire. Just keep some firm boundaries. Mel's, if they defend him even once they aren't coming, is unhelpful. They're going to defend him because that's what they do. De-escalate your fiancée. Encourage her to mute your family between now and the wedding and let you handle all of this. X and I separated a few months ago, and in the beginning we agreed that 50-50 was the best thing for our daughter. Then we went to the first mediation and I learned he expected me to be fully responsible for finding and paying for childcare on his weeks as well as my own. And if I couldn't find childcare, he expected me to pick her up in the morning before he went to work and bring her back to him when he got back to his apartment. I was not okay with that and said as much. We didn't get anywhere because he insisted all childcare related tasks were my responsibility since I'd always done them. After mediation, he continued to argue with me, and I told him that 50-50 custody means he is 100% responsible during his time with her, and I am 100% responsible during my time. His counteroffer was still 50-50 custody, but she could stay with me most of the summer and he would see her every other weekend, but we still switch weeks during the school year. I again refused and told him 50-50 custody means 50-50 all year long, not just when it's convenient for you. That apparently got through to him, and he's told me I can have primary physical custody and he will take her every other weekend, and we split holidays during the school year when he can take a vacation to stay with her instead of working. But now he's told his family about our disagreement and they're texting and calling me because I'm stealing his child from him. They think I should continue to be responsible for all childcare all year since he works hard and needs help. His mother was particularly vocal about it, and I asked her why she didn't volunteer to pay for childcare for him. Her response was that it was too expensive and not her responsibility. Again, I disagreed because I'm not her son's nanny. I told the rest of his family the same thing. I was sure I was right until his sister, who I've always thought of as level-headed, also told me I was being unfair. X hasn't ever had to do any of those tasks, and he shouldn't be expected to start doing them after so many years. Am I the idiot for telling him he's responsible for our daughter during his time with her, which is now preventing him from having 50-50 custody? Editing, because I forgot to add I have been exceptionally careful to keep our daughter out of earshot of any verbal conversations around this, and I don't let her play with my phone so she won't stumble across any of the text exchanges. She loves us both, and I don't want to be one of those parents who involve the child in adult matters. Oh, I get it. He wants 50-50 custody, but you need to do all the parenting for her, even when she's at his place. OP, your ex is an idiot, and anyone siding with him is one too. It sounds like his family is coddling him and trying to guilt you into doing the same. I have to love the sister's logic that he's never had to do it before, so he shouldn't have to learn to do it now. Applying that logic, again, if she'd done all the laundry and cooking and whatever else, she should be coming around and doing that for him too. His sister isn't being level-headed, she's being self-serving. His sister and mom have realised that if you don't handle things for him, they're going to get stuck taking care of everything for him, and it's easier to bully you than to force your ex to grow up and be a parent. Stand your ground. You're 100% in the right. I'm male and I live with my girlfriend. My girlfriend's close friend is staying with us for a week. She's travelling from a different city and sleeping in a spare bedroom in our house. One morning it was nice and sunny, and while my girlfriend was sleeping in and her friend was also still asleep, I thought it was a good opportunity to do the laundry. I did all 3 of our laundry in 2 different batches and then hung them out to dry. Later, this lady was livid because apparently I'm a male and I can't handle her underwear without permission. I did all our laundry, including hers, which had been dumped in a separate basket, but also in the laundry room next to the same basket that my girlfriend and I use. I thought it would be good if we just all did our laundry and got it out of the way. I wasn't expecting her to do her own laundry while she was a guest at our house. Anyway, this girl was livid that I was manhandling a week's worth of her bras and panties and then hung them out to dry. My girlfriend took her side and said I shouldn't go through a lady's stuff like that without her permission. I didn't do anything wrong. I made a kind gesture and I thought they'd appreciate it. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I wouldn't care about my underwear in terms of manhandling, but you should never do someone's laundry without permission. Some of that stuff may have to be washed in a certain way, especially bras. She might not want people to see the size, or might have stains she wanted to treat, or specific about the temperature of the wash or type of detergent. Also, when you say hung out to dry, is that outside? Disagree, not the idiot. Men can wash clothes, even delicate ones. They're not all stupid. My husband does all our laundry with a lot of care. I would hate it if he left my laundry out and it would be a waste of money and water to do it separately. If there's something you want to be handled in a specific way, you should not put it in the laundry room, but make sure you do it yourself. If you don't want others to touch your stuff, don't put it in their laundry room. For Pete's sake, they probably told her, here's the laundry basket for you to use, and it was in the laundry room. Putting your laundry in its own basket is not, hey, do my laundry. It's not permission, it's not implied permission, it's no expectation of privacy, and it's not crap. He did something with someone else's stuff without permission. Can we just place the responsibility where it belongs? For real, people are acting like this is something like a binary program or something where if you put X here, Y always happens regardless of context or situation. OP ignorantly overstepped, now he knows, so just needs to apologise. I, 30 male, have a sister, Laura, 32, who has a son, Jake, pre-tween. Laura and her husband are both busy professionals and I get that life can be hectic, but lately I've been really concerned about how they're raising Jake. Last week I went over to their house for dinner. After dinner it was a typical evening for their household. Laura was on her phone half the time and her husband was glued to the TV. Meanwhile, Jake was playing video games in the other room, completely ignored. At one point I checked on him and he was watching some ridiculous YouTube video about pranks. I was shocked and called Laura to show her what he was watching. Her reaction? She brushed it off, saying he was just being a kid and I was overreacting. I couldn't believe it. This is the kind of stuff that can really mess up a kid's head. So I got a bit heated and told her that the reason this happened in the first place was because she had a kid too young and that if she's not going to pay attention to him, she shouldn't be surprised when he ends up getting hurt, acting out, or having weird political beliefs. I said, "You're a terrible parent if you can't even be bothered to monitor what your kid is watching." Let's just say that didn't go over well at all. Laura got upset and started crying like she usually does. She called me an arrogant know-it-all. I couldn't help but laugh. I usually do in uncomfortable situations. Her husband backed her up, saying I had no idea what it's like to raise a kid. But honestly, I couldn't just sit back and be complicit in this any longer. They need to hear the truth. Now my parents are caught in the middle and think I was too harsh and are threatening to kick me out, which would literally make me homeless. They say I should have kept my mouth shut and just enjoyed dinner. But I feel like if I don't say something, who will? Will no one stand up for what's right anymore? Am I the idiot for standing up for what I believe is right, or should I just have let it go? Edit, I'm neurodivergent and struggle with time blindness. Due to the combination of these things, holding a job has not necessarily been something I'm too good at. I've recently taken to streaming on Twitch, but it's only really enough to pay my phone bill. You are the idiot. Dude, you're a 30-year-old man who lives at home with your mommy and daddy. Of course you sound like an arrogant know-it-all. You're acting like one. Grow up, move out of your mom and dad's house, and worry about your own life. He can't. He would literally be homeless. OP, your nephew sounds fine. So what if he's watching some prank videos? That entertainment sounds about right for what interests a kid at his age. And one doesn't need to be a helicopter or snowplow parent to raise a great kid. You do not get to tell a parent how to raise their kid. The kid isn't in any danger. If it isn't how you would do it, it doesn't matter. He's not your kid. Screw up your own kids. Granted, in this case it's hypocritical of OP to criticise his sister when she's gotten her life more together than he has. She's married, has her own place and has a son. OP has just recently started streaming on Twitch and is only able to cover his phone bill off that. He cites being neurodivergent and time blind. He doesn't have a leg to stand on when judging parenting decisions. I come from a family of 3, including my mom and my little sister. I lost my dad when I was 10, and my mom single-handedly did her very best to make everything seem as if dad was still around. She never had support from relatives and obviously made countless sacrifices as we grew up. I got married in 2022 and moved to New Zealand. As soon as we got married, my in-laws spun into action by making me convert all my bank accounts into joint accounts with my husband. At the time, their reason was that it would be beneficial for my move to New Zealand. I constantly turned a blind eye, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Enter husband. The red flags started popping up immediately after our wedding. His total lack of compassion is mind-boggling. I used to tell myself maybe he was just shy. I used to get depressed constantly, but I told myself that I'm stuck with this now, and maybe I'm the one who needs an attitude change. The latest issue began when my mom told me over the phone that she would really like to visit Turkey with one of her friends. My husband, who was on the call with me, just stormed off, making the whole thing really odd. He then started arguing with me that I should make her understand that going on expensive international trips at this time is a bad idea. She should be saving money for my sister when she needs to get married. Truth be told, even I thought it was a bad idea at the time since Mom just travelled to Singapore this year. But I brushed off his concerns, saying that even if I am to object, she wouldn't listen to me and would end up in an argument. Besides, the trip wasn't confirmed at all. We ended up not speaking that whole weekend. I finally lost it and started pushing his buttons to know why exactly he was so concerned about this. Ultimately, it slipped from his mouth. He doesn't want my mom to approach us for money after she spends all of hers. I told him it's none of his business what my mom chooses to do with her money, and she's never approached us for help. Even if she does, it's my responsibility and I will not abandon my family. My mom's getting older and fears missing out about being unable to travel and see beautiful places. Things escalated pretty quickly after that and my in-laws got involved. I work a good job and am single-handedly putting my husband through college. If I ever mention even the slightest about me being the breadwinner, they turn the whole thing against me. This was the first time I raised my voice against them because I understood that they really looked down on me and my family. Everything's come crashing down on me to the point that even the things I do on a daily basis while maintaining a busy schedule are at fault. It seems like they want me to cast out my side of the family completely. I'm not a total saint here, I should have controlled my emotions better, but I expect any good human being to stand up for their family when they're wrongly treated. Am I the idiot? So you've joined your finances completely with your husband, but he's leeching off you as you're paying to put him through college, and he dares to tell your mom how she spends her money? What the heck are you doing with that guy? Open your eyes. He and his in-laws tricked you. Separate your account now before it's too late. You are the idiot. Get a spine and leave. Divorce. This sounds like a psychological thriller movie. Red Flag City happened when the in-laws pushed for a joint account. Why were they in your finances? How did they know? Your own family didn't push it, then you moved with him. Oh no. Please plan an exit plan before he really tries to entrap you. Run, run, run. Do not announce anything. Get yourselves a savings and talk to a lawyer. This is not love. OP, you've left yourself in a vulnerable state. You've allowed people you don't truly know to dictate your life choices without understanding their motivations.